But I do have some good news about AI that we could talk about, and we could just chat for a little while if you don't want to stay for the whole time.
Mhm.
Um, but it seems like more and more people are getting comfortable with putting like sensitive information in, um, as long as you have like the Teams plan. Um, so that is like a financial investment to get like the higher level plan, but when if you start taking clients at some point, you can, it seems as though you can put, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but people are putting tax returns and stuff into the Teams and enterprise level, Claude. So that
All
could be
right.
great.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Claude, I've been using more ChatGPT still, I think, than Claude. But I think Claude, it kind of excels in certain things. Like we already talked about all that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and like some people are saying that the newest ChatGPT model like is actually like outperforming Claude on certain tasks. So it's
Mm,
probably smart that you have stuck with ChatGPT. Um, and the same goes for ChatGPT. If you're on those higher like business plans, then they
mm,
should have the same level of security. So yeah, I think a lot of people are just saying like, what's the difference between any of the other AI, that client data has access to? Like, it's not a big deal. Um, so yeah, so I
yeah,
mean that could really speed up the process when doing a tax return or trying to come up with tax planning advice or things like that.
right. Um, yeah, I kind of have both. Like I have the free version of Claude, but I still have the paid version ChatGPT because I was contemplating like, should I just get rid of one? Like, which one's better? But I realized the term better, it can mean like it depends on the situation. So like
Yeah.
it's good
And
to
they're
have.
all amazing. Like they're all like
Yeah,
incredible, so it's like yeah. I
yeah, and
think
like in the future, yeah, I was saying the future, like one could outperform the other, or maybe one will have a feature that's specific to like that one, and the other one doesn't have it. Like it's good to have the options of like
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and like I think the ways people kind of figure out which one is better is they ask the same question to both and
mhm,
see, how they handle it. So even with the free version of Claude, you can do that. You can ask it something about the tax code or, test its
mhm,
knowledge on, a tax return you're doing and see like, who comes up with better tax planning advice or a better tax strategy for someone or something. Um, or like when you organize the work papers, like who did a better job organizing them. But I think a lot of it has to do with how good your instructions are too. Um,
yeah,
so it's like that's a big variable. Like the better input you give it, the better output you'll get.
that's true. Just the other day, I was using ChatGPT, and I asked it. I don't remember exactly what I asked it, but it was something when I was working with some bookkeeping stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and I gave it a prompt, but it was pretty vague. It was a vague prompt, but I was like, "Oh, I'll make sure I'll set the level to high, the setting to high. It should figure it out." And then it just was stuck on a loop the whole time, and it just took forever and wasn't giving responses. I refreshed the page, it was doing the same thing. So
Wow.
yeah, it was interesting. I stopped it, and what I did was I edited my prompt and made it more specific, and then it worked. Like it worked
Okay.
pretty good. Yeah, so like okay, so thinking of the good prompt is important when we're using the
Yeah.
AI tools.
Yeah, and that takes a while because it's like it's not black and white, like this is good, this is bad. It's just kind of like
Mm,
experimenting and like and you kind of have to know what you want, like what your outcome, what you want the outcome to be, and then like push back if it's not giving you what you want, and like it will get there if you keep pushing.
right.
Yeah. So what kind of bookkeeping thing were you working on?
So I was helping Michael with this client, and he wanted to just categorize some transactions and look at the balance sheet and make sure it matches the bank statements and all that. Thing is, like, this is my first time working on something like this, so I was using AI a lot to help me
Yeah,
out. And
which is amazing.
interesting, yeah, it is actually really helpful. One of the things that I use it for, I saw from a video somewhere, I don't remember now where it came from, but the guy suggested a prompt to put into the AI where you kind of tell it to like what best category does this transaction fit, and give me a percentage of your confidence level and the top three and pros and cons of each. And I did all that, and it gave it to me, and it was like, wow, that's pretty useful, you know.
Yeah,
But
that's great because then you don't you feel like, yeah, like who knows what judgment calls it made. Like you actually know like what decisions it's making and you might see a pattern and say like, okay, I need to tell it that that is actually a restaurant and it's not realizing that or something. And there's in that AI lab for accountants group that I have, there's a guy who's a CPA who owns a CPA firm, and he created like his own bookkeeping software with AI that they
oh,
use at his firm, and it actually lets you like select your confidence level, like how confident do you want it to be while it's categorizing? Like, do you want it to go really slow and like do heavy research on each transaction, or do you like want it to just kind of do like a quick thing? So I do think that that's like a good prompt that you found that like like I do think it like confidence level matters,
yeah.
which like I wouldn't think about. I would never have thought that, um but yeah, it's I think it's great too with bookkeeping if you can give it like, this is what it looked like last year on the tax return, or this is what the balance sheet looked like last year. These are like this is the typical kind of categories that are used for this client, or like, here's a few tips about them that, when you see Amazon, like always put it to supplies, or what, like kind of give
Yeah.
it like a little bit of rules. And then it really, I mean, it can just take 12 bank statements and just, I mean, that used to take so long.
Oh, I bet.
And the expensive, like, because if you wanted to use like software to help you do it, then you had to like pay for like a monthly subscription to QuickBooks for that one client that you just want to get it ready for the tax return, or, like, so this really can help a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's awesome.
so what do
Um,
you?
Go ahead.
I'll say, what do you want to talk about today? Anything specific with AI or?
Well, I we 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 were working on in another group like how to build a website really easily. Like, so if you want, because I know like last week I think we were talking about like marketing a little bit and like how to get clients and stuff, or maybe it was a few weeks ago. So I was thinking like we could like go through the steps to show kind of how easy that is to do and how you can just like tweak it anytime you want, and it's like completely free. Um, but I don't know if, since it's just a few of us, like, I want to make sure it's something that you guys actually need right now, like something that would make your life better. Um, is there anything that comes to mind?
Um, like for me, I'm not at the stage of getting clients just yet. Really, what I'm focusing on right now is studying for the A exam and helping out Micah with these tasks. Usually, he'll give me like a tax return, a pro forma to do, and to give me like projections.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's giving me this assignment for his QuickBooks assignment for his client. So I've been using AI to kind of guide me a little bit and answer some questions that crop up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than that, I tried to think of like some ideas, but like I can't really think of any immediate ideas for using AI for now.
Have you used it at all to help you study for the exams?
Yeah. Basically, what I do is that I open up Surgeon for the A prep,
Yep.
and when I encounter a problem that I don't know, I try to just answer it as best I can, try to think it through, and then if it turns out to be wrong, I ask AI. I kind of like highlight it, copy the text selection, and paste it in there, and ask
Mhm.
it, "Can you explain this to me clearly, like the solution more clearly?" Because it gives you solutions, but sometimes it's pretty uh,
Yeah,
yeah, complex, a lot
right.
of reading. So it gives me a simplified version of the solution, and if I have any other follow up questions, I'll ask it, and I get a better picture of it. And in the event that it turns out to be right, like I actually answered it correctly, I still do the same thing to really make
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, so that's how
like
I've been
that
using.
that it wasn't just luck, or, that you actually
Exactly. Yeah.
understand why you got it right. Yeah, that's really cool because, you can push back and say like, "Yeah, I still don't understand what you're saying. Like, can you put it in like really basic terms?" But like with Surgeon, like you can't do that. Like it's just it tells you its
Yeah.
answer. So it's cool that you can be like it's almost like talking to a person like, "Yeah, this
Hmm.
that doesn't make sense." Like, and they can try to explain it in multiple different ways. Yeah, I
Right.
feel like that's gonna, like, make your pass your chance of passing a lot higher because you're almost like having a real human tutor that's, like, with you each time you study,
Hmm.
if you need it, which is great. When are your exams?
I haven't scheduled a date yet, but I
Okay.
was planning to. Yeah, it started July because I kind of started a little bit late. I got caught up in the beginning,
Mhm,
but yeah, I intend to try to test for the first part one. That's what we're
mhm.
working on.
There's 2 parts, right?
Three parts, just three
3, oh,
parts. Yep.
3. Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the last one's like
Trust and
represent
estates,
yeah, like
is it?
representation type stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Isn't one of them, like, trust and estates?
that's part of this one, part one actually.
Oh,
Surprisingly,
really?
yeah, yeah, I
Hmm.
got caught up on that one a lot. A few of us have before first attempt. Trust and estates it's
Yeah,
like you wouldn't think they would add that in part one, but yeah, it's part
I know,
part
that's kind of
one.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because, like, when you, like, start practicing, like, a lot of people are just like, "Oh, yeah, I don't do trust and estates." Like, that's
Yeah,
that's that's a specialty, like, I have no idea, like, I literally know nothing about that, like, it's not something that is expected that like every tax preparer would know. It's like a specialty, like international tax or
yeah,
farming
exactly.
tax or oil and gas. Like it's like that's like one specialty. But for the EA exam, they make you like for CPA exam. I don't think we needed. I think it was like very light the what we had to do for that. But
Yeah, I heard that it was like the CPA tax session is kind of like a little bit like light compared to the
Oh, yeah,
exam.
it's so much easier than the EA because the EA, like, you're really like, you're a tax specialist, like, you are supposed to know more about tax than a CPA.
Yeah,
If an EA and a CPA went, like, neck and neck on, like, tax trivia or something, like, the EA would win. Like, the EAs know more about tax than CPAs for sure. Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's more technical, it's more laser focused just on the tax and you might not know as much about like auditing or, gap standards or whatever stuff that we like account more some of the accounting stuff, like how to do governmental accounting or nonprofit accounting, but tax, yeah, you guys know more than us.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good license to have also because
Yeah.
like if you're planning to follow up with the CPA afterwards, it kind of prepares you for the that section, tax
Oh
section
my
for the
god.
CPA.
You will pass the reg section, like, in your sleep. Like, I when I took that section, I was working in an accounting firm, like, doing tax returns, and in school, and, like, that was, like, my highest score was, like, that was the easiest section because it was like, yeah, I, like, do this for work, like, I'm
Mhm.
seeing these things all the time at work, like, I know this stuff, like, I do it every day. Um, so, yeah, you'll be a quarter of the way there because you have to take 4 exams, but
Oh yeah, it's yeah they have four.
I don't think there's any difference in an EA license versus a CPA license when it comes to, like, how much money you can make or how, respected you are by clients or community, like, they're both very prestigious, um, like you might get called a CPA sometimes, like your clients will like just call you their CPA, and like that can be annoying because you're like, I'm not a CPA. Like, but other than that, like it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, I think the EA is gaining a lot of traction as of
yeah,
late. Also, I
it
think in the
is.
future it's gonna, yeah, catch up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten more popular, like, because people just I think, just had never heard of it, like, it
Hmm.
wasn't like they thought it was bad, they just didn't know what it was, um, but, like, yeah, like, being able to represent a client, like, in front of the IRS and do those things is, like that's, like, no joke, like, that's a big deal, um, so, yeah, it's good. That's really cool that you get to, like, do real life practice with Micah stuff, because that I feel like always helped me on exams, like, being able to think of like a real tax return, like, just makes it like less abstract and more like real. Um,
Yeah, you can make the connection more easier.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That helps so much. Um, Well, good. I mean, like in the other groups where I talk about AI a lot, like we're talking a lot about like the workflow in in a tax practice, and like how to, people who are doing thousands of tax returns a year, like how do we get that process to go faster by using AI, and like, kind of organizing like messy systems and stuff like that. So that's like where I hear a lot of the talk. But I think like just having it be your sidekick whenever Micah assigns you a task is like the best thing you could do right now, is just like any task you have in front of you, like the moment it feels tedious, or like it's, oh, this is going to take a while, or I'm not super confident, or I want to check my work, like that's what it's there for. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, it's feels like an extra set of hands. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like your assistant who can go research something for you and go get like, it's like having a coworker,
mhm.
um, which is like such a superpower to have as like an entry level, like new person in this career, to like already have like a coworker that you can ask everything to and stuff. Like when I was like a staff accountant, we would get in trouble if we asked like questions. Like they would want us to just look in the book, like the tax code books, and
Mm.
like if you like went and asked your manager, like they'd be like, how many times have you checked, like how many books have you checked, like you have to check a certain
Right.
amount of books before you ask us. And it's like, and
Like
we
you can,
tried Google, and like Google would just give you like five different answers and you didn't know what to
yeah,
believe, like, so but now it's different, like now like you don't need, like you can just do a lot more earlier on in your career because you have
yeah,
like a superpower like on the side now.
yeah. It's really helpful because it can be discouraging if you try to ask for your higher ups for help and they're too busy or just unwilling to help. Like, oh, did
Yeah.
you look into it? And then
Yeah.
that's kind of bad because then you'll kind of condition you to not ask for help when you need it, and it's fun
Yeah,
to ask for
no,
help.
they were, like, mean about it, like, in our
Uh,
reviews, like, annual reviews, they would, like, criticize us for how many times we asked for help, like, it was, like, considered
oh
a
wow,
weakness. It was like, traditional old school CPA firms are, like, very toxic in that way, which, like, those firms are dying out with, like, the new generations coming in,
yeah,
but yeah, it's I think, what we started this series kind of talking about, like, "Oh, no, wait, should we not become EAs because, like, AI is about to, like,
mm,
demolish, like, the entry level, like, of this industry," and, like, the more I'm talking to people about it, the more it's like, no, like, a a client is not ever gonna be like, "Oh, okay, I wanna learn how to just, like, use AI to do my own tax return." It's like, no, they want a human, they want a relationship, like, they're always gonna want that, like, there's gonna be some people who are very techy that just,
mm,
like to DIY and save money, but, like, the rest of the population is still gonna say, like, "No, I wanna outsource that," like, you
yeah,
know, it's a serious enough thing to people getting their taxes done. It's like, could I start using Claude to figure out like my medical diagnoses and not go to a doctor anymore? Like, probably, like, or to write a contract so I don't have to pay a lawyer, like, yeah, maybe, like, but like I don't want to. I want to feel more confident about it. I
Yeah.
want to trust, So I think building relationship and connections and making people feel like they can trust you is like the biggest like asset we have right now. The other cool thing I think you can do is like come up with tools um, to like spend a lot of time asking like people now that you could like picture being the type of client that you would want, like start asking them like kind of what their pain points are and what keeps them up at night, like to see if you can like start brainstorming with ChatGPT, like what are some like tools or apps or things I could build like for people, like what's a good like dashboard I could make for them or something, like like is there a little calculator we can make where they can put in a couple numbers to get an idea of how much tax they're going to owe, or is there like a easy bookkeeping DIY thing, or like just like if it's a certain industry you'd like to work with, like a certain type of business, like what kind of like kind of dashboard could you create for them that shows them like their numbers like in a really easy to see way, or like because those are ways to add more services and more value, like as we worry about AI taking some parts of our job away, like then let's find more things that we can add in. um
Right.
yeah, so yeah, you could just have a conversation like, I'm going to be an EA soon, like what types of services should I even be offering, like what industries do you recommend I focus on, like to get clients, like, and ask chat gpt like all this stuff and it will give you like tons of advice.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Sean, you don't have to join in, but if you have any like questions about AI, it's kind of just like an open, um, whatever you've got, we can talk about today.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just kind of listening in mainly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I'm cool with it. I mean it's I'm still kind of new, kind of especially all this AI stuff, but definitely
Yep.
interested in kind of hearing. Um, but I guess just in general, like do you kind of have like maybe like a quick I don't know kind of overview of how like kind of AI kind of changing this whole field um,
Yeah.
for
Like,
yourself?
oh, are you still there?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Uh,
here.
okay. Yeah, I think like, you know, I think there's like two schools of thought on it, and like
Yeah.
we were kind of like depressed the first few weeks in this in this group, like, why are we all here? Because our jobs are about to be taken away, and
Mm,
like this is terrible. Like what terrible timing we picked to become EAs. Like that was kind of like the vibe at the beginning. So I took it upon myself to like really start interviewing like accounting firm owners and ask them their opinions on this. And even just seeing in practice, like with what like Alexander even just said he was able to do, like with some of the work that Micah gave him, I really think that it's the opposite. I don't think jobs will be taken away. I think you just go from being like a green entry level tax preparer to like a little bit more of a senior tax preparer like instantly, because it's like you have this little sidekick, like this little like super experienced tax pro that you can use anytime you want anything checked, reviewed, a second opinion if you have a question. And like I didn't have that like when I started my career. Like if I had had that, I really think it would have fast tracked like my career. Like I would have been able to take on more complex work more early on. I would have been able to catch more things instead of like learning from mistakes. Like, so I think if you can keep building relationships and trust with taxpayers, like they're gonna want to offload like the tax stuff onto you, whether they could figure out how to use AI or not. They're still gonna want to outsource that. Like they could
mm,
all be using TurboTax, but like somehow most of us have clients, like so there. I don't think that like the average person is going to be like super excited to just like start doing like their own taxes now. And the more complicated the client is, the even less likely. So, like I was talking to a real estate investor the other day who has a giant portfolio, and he was like, AI is not taking my CPA's job or, my EA's job. Like I'm never like, this is what I never want to sit down with AI and have it figure this stuff out. Like, no, thank
Mm,
you. Like, it's not exciting or interesting to him at all. Whether he could save some money or not, it's like, it's all about the value, like the perceived value. Like, it's not all about money to people. It's the peace of mind
right.
and the relationship and the
Mm,
connection.
mm,
So I don't think that AI is going to hurt our industry. I think it's just going to make it a lot more profitable because you're going to be able to take on a lot more work, like a lot faster, and like get things done a lot faster. Like, doing a 12 months of bookkeeping catch up on a client would have taken so much longer before, but now you can dump 12 bank statements into AI and say, like, here's the parameters, here's my rules, here's the confidence level I want you to use, whatever. Like, give me a trial balance, give me a balance sheet, and it'll happen in like a minute. So,
mm.
yeah.
I see. And I guess do you find like most like a lot of their the outputs from AI to be, I guess, kind of accurate and like helpful, or I mean, the reason I asked is sort of like I'm actually in like the Bay Area, kind of Silicon Valley, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And so you just hear there's a lot of kind of layoffs and a lot of like the more junior, you know, kind of like basically kind of people who are new or maybe like 3 to 5 years experience are kind of being laid off and having a hard time finding work. Now I know that like I think a big portion of that just kind of I think it just has to do that, especially kind of like in like the software kind of coding area in which like
Yeah, of course.
all
Yeah.
this AI is like
They're screwed. Yeah.
yeah, it's like super good at doing that, right? And so that's where it's for me to that's why I kind of want to hear like how is it being applied in other fields, right? Because it's like I think in kind of in my kind of area, it feels like what is valued is more like experience, right? It's almost like if you don't have like people who are getting laid off with like 3 5, and it's kind of slowly kind of moving up the chain, but folks with like maybe 10 plus year 15 20, like I think those folks are still kind of pretty good for like for now, right? Which
Yeah.
kind of so what we kind of said was kind of interesting. Like it's like, oh, okay, like the junior folks are maybe is kind of more helped by it. So I'm just trying to kind of understand more about like how
Yeah.
that, because like AI, like the way is kind of viewed like now is sort of like, well, AI, you kind of you can get something that's helpful, maybe a lot of like the rule based industries, right? That maybe AI can kind of do well, but then like but because of hallucinations and errors and stuff, it's like it's kind of turning to be like, well, maybe a good way to use it is actually having an experienced person use it. That way they can kind of oversee its output, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do think, like, yeah, the more experienced the person, the more like they know what to look out for and how to ask the right question and whether the answer is right or wrong, like for sure. Um, but I also think that like if you learn how to use if you spend your time right now becoming an expert at how to use these AI tools and all the different features that they have and how those things could be used to make like work more efficient, if you learn how to like give it certain guardrails, like you're only allowed to access like the US tax code and the California franchise whatever, like Department of Revenue, like you're only allowed to look at these things, like like practice kind of creating more of like a like a siloed place of like you're not allowed to use things
like
outside of
from,
here, like all
from
that.
Reddit.
And
Yeah.
then ask it like a few different times the same question and see, like, is it giving you similar answers each time or is it giving you very different answers? Like there's definitely some testing you have to do to kind of get to know it and like see what it's capable of. And each model is different, of course. And each company. But I think like, especially, it really depends like where you want to go in the industry. Like, do you want to go work for like a big four like firm? Do you want to work for like a smaller accounting firm? Do you want to start your own accounting firm? Like, what direction you want to go. But if you're thinking that like you just want to like go work at like a tax accounting firm, like like a medium to small size, like you coming in as like an AI guru is like the best thing you can do for yourself right now, because these like smaller to medium sized accounting firms with like older, like,
Mm-hmm.
partners and like that don't know anything, they're looking for someone on the team to kind of be like the AI specialist, like who like understand, how to use it, how to be like really savvy with it. So I think like the best thing you can do for yourself right now is just get like really fluent at using it as a research tool, as a work paper tool, as a review tool, as a tax strategy tool, um, you know, all that
Mm.
stuff, so that you could walk into a firm and be like, what I don't have in years of experience here, I make up for it with my knowledge of how to utilize AI to make us more profitable and give us more capacity. And like, I can teach the rest of the team how to do this stuff. Like that's like every firm owner's dream right now, is to find
Mm.
someone on their team who's comfortable using AI.
Mhm. Are there certain models that you find that are better than others in terms of kind of doing kind of tax things like that?
You know, I might have to research that and get back to you, because it's changing so quickly. Um,
Mm.
it's like there keeps being new models, and like I think a lot of people are like very impressed with the new Chat GPT model, and are saying that it's actually like better than some of the Claude models, which is like crazy, like because we thought that
Mm.
Claude was better. So it's like today, I would probably say like, yeah, the whatever the newest ChatGPT one, it seems to be like really good for like finance and like tax kind of stuff. But like
Mm.
tomorrow, that could be totally different. And we
Yeah.
were talking at the beginning, a lot of it has to do with like how good your prompt is, like how good your,
Mm.
the parameters and the guardrails and the way you ask the question and the way you push back, like, because taxes like has a lot of rules in black and white, like I'm sure all of them can handle it. It might
Mhm.
be us that really have to be good at asking the right questions.
Mm. So I guess then that's because I know with like Chat GPT, so like I guess it's kind of set up per, I guess, per account, right? Per account or per kind of chat um, session that you do. And so I guess it's just within those sessions that you would kind of ask it, right? Kind of, oh, like only look at the official IRS website, right? That's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like in Claude, you can set up projects, and so like a project is like a bubble where, and I don't know if ChatGPT has like the equivalent of that, but like, you can have like this in this bubble, like attached are like the PDFs of like the only things you're allowed to look at, or like here are the
Mm.
websites that you're only allowed to look at. And you're not allowed to do anything outside of this, like
Mm.
when you
Mm.
answer. So, and you can even start by just asking Chat GPT, like, I'm a tax pro, I'm doing tax returns, I want to be able to ask tax questions. What should I tell you in order to ensure that like you only use like real sources, like,
Mm.
go research the internet and see what like every, you know tax like thought leader is saying about this, and come back to
Mm.
me and tell me what I should tell you to do. Like you can even it's
Mm.
kind of
Mm.
meta, but like you can ask it to go figure out what you should tell it.
Mm. I see. Yeah, because that was actually another more question is that like because it kind of basically kind of it kind of crawls the web and then it gets all these different information. It kind of calculates basically the probability of what the next word, right? So it's kind of this very complicated math, as I understand
Yeah.
it. But I guess when it comes down to I guess specific areas in which you have, I don't know, maybe edge cases or kind of varying opinions, right? Or very tax treatments of like, oh, I don't know, Pro A can do it this way, Pro B would do it another way, Pro C would do it yet another way, right?
Mhm.
Um, are those like, I guess, um, have you kind of come across scenarios like that, and how do you kind of go? How do you guys go about um, using?
I think, like, some people are choosing to invest in, like, more specific tax, AI tools because
Mm,
they feel like, these people, like, these companies have already put the effort into, like, making a tax research tool that has the right, context and the right things, like, they'd rather not, like, figure it out themselves, and I think a lot of them are pretty low cost, so,
mm,
like, some of the popular ones, right now are, like, Blue Jay. Have you heard of Blue Jay?
no.
Um, yeah, I can put these in the
Okay.
chat, but, like, Blue Jay Tax, let's see, um and, like, a lot of these tools were just tax research tools at first, and now they're adding, like, extra features where you can, like, also, like, import a tax return and have it look at the tax return and, like, you know,
Mm,
do more with it instead of just, like, asking it questions.
mm,
So here's
mm,
Blue Jay, and then, Juno is another popular one. So yeah, and, like, some of these are, like, saying, like, "We will, like, do the tax return for you to, like, actually prep the tax return," which is, like, kinda taking it to a whole nother level. It's, like, not just for asking questions anymore.
mm,
That's Juno, and then, this guy I know is building this one, Bizora AI. But then, like, I've seen people, like, on Twitter and stuff, they'll take these, tools, and then they'll, ask, like, the same question to all these tools, and then also ask it to just plain old ChatGPT or plain old Claude, and, like, the Claude and ChatGPT do a pretty good job too. So it's like, I think asking the same question a couple times to the model that you're using, and, like, see if it keeps consistently giving you this a similar answer, kind of can help you figure out how confident it is, or, like, try a few different models and ask it the same question, or, pay for one of these if there's one that's kind of a lower cost, like, that doesn't feel like too big of an investment, because that, like, that they've kind of filtered out all the noise, and like,
mm.
they've already kind of put it in a nice little box for you.
True. That makes
uh,
sense.
yeah,
I see. I
yeah.
see. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a whole new world, I feel.
I know. There's also, like, there's this guy who has this, thing called Open Accountants, and,
Okay.
he this is, like, an international, thing, but what he's trying to do, I just put that in the chat too, is have, like, every country and every state in the US, like, find someone to, like, validate, like, he created skills for, like, the tax code in every state, in every country, um, and then, like, you could just download those skills from, like, GitHub and attach them to, like, your ChatGPT or to your Claude, so that, like, you can use those skills when doing, like, a sales tax return or an income tax return or business tax return, like, like, so that you could stay, like, in a regular LLM model without
Mm,
having to buy, like, one of these things. So there's definitely, like, some
mm,
things around that would allow you to just, like, stay in Claude or stay in ChatGPT, but make sure that, like, the skills it's using or the context of what it's using is, like, super aligned with what you need it to be. Or, other people are like, "Nah, I just wanna go with a company that, like, already figured this out and
mm. I see. I
do
see.
that." Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And then a
Well,
lot of, like, the tax softwares also have, like, tax research tools, like, embedded into them, or that you can, buy, but sometimes those are kind of expensive.
mm, mm. No, no. What about what about like tax planning?
Mhm.
Like, is it I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on like how kind of using AI for tax planning?
Yeah, I feel like it's really good at that.
Mm,
So, like, you could, like, import a tax return, like, or, like, upload a tax return and say, like, what given this person's situation, or you could say, like, create a dummy tax return for me, and then given this fake, tax return situation, or use yours if you want, or like a redacted one, whatever. Tell me like what types of like what should this person be being proactive about, like for the next tax year? Like what give me some ideas of like what opportunities there are for someone in this situation. And then just like have your own idea like of what that could be, and see if it catches like all the things that you would have said, and then like chances are it's also going to blow your mind with like some things that you wouldn't have thought of. And it's like really good at that, like any of
Mm,
the models are really good at that, like,
tax
you know
planning.
yeah, so like let's say you had a client and they gave you their prior year tax return, and they said like, it's July. I want to be your client for next tax season. Here's my 2025 tax return. I want you to do my 2026 tax return, and I want to start working with you now. You would put that 2025 tax return into, one of these AI AI tools, and say, you know, this was their situation last year. Here's what I know about what their situation this year is going to be based on some questions I asked them during onboarding. What strategies and like planning should I be doing to be proactive with them for the rest of this year to set them up for success next tax
Mm-hmm.
season? Like, should I be having them pay quarterly estimated tax payments? Is there like some energy credit I should be pushing them towards? Is there, you know, like what red flags are you saying? Like, should this person be an S corp? Like, is there,
Mm,
like, should they spend some money before December on their Schedule C? Like, what do you like,
mm,
like what kind of, and see what it comes up with. I think
I
people are
see.
like really impressed with the kinds of things it's been
Mm,
coming up with.
yeah, I see. I see. Yeah, because one of the things I'm thinking about is actually maybe some sort of like kind of CFP or kind of financial planning with EA, right? And I kind of play around with a little bit, and just in kind of in terms like the like kind of financial planning kind of portion, some of the tax planning kind of portion, and it's interesting. But I'm just also like kind of wondering like because I think I mean, to me I think about it as sort of like almost like an optimization kind of problem, right? Because you have different scenarios, people with different backgrounds, different tax codes, and there's kind of sort of like different strategies of like, I don't know, like person wants to, I don't know, like family with two kids, they want to retire
Yeah.
and whatever, all this kind of stuff.
What
And
their
so,
goals are. Yeah.
yeah, and so, it's not this, go online. There's like, you know, tons of YouTubers talking about like tons of different strategies, right? And so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, just kind of, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like connecting like the financial planner side, and the tax side is like such a beautiful connection, because like both people feel like there's this missing piece. Like, the financial planner is being asked like how much money should I be putting
Hmm.
aside for taxes? And they're like, or like when they sell stock or like investments, they have to think about what the tax consequence of that would be, and they don't
Right.
have always the full picture of the tax side, and then vice versa. Like, the same thing on the tax side is like not knowing like what the goals are, what like how much they're putting away for retirement, like if they even have a retirement plan set up, like all that
Mm,
stuff. And like at each phase of life, people have different goals and like different things like coming down the pipeline, like, so it's like really important to like be able to use like the planning side with taxes, because it's like, okay, like someone inherited money and you have 10 years to pull this money out. Let's plan the next 10 years. Like, what's going to be happening in those 10 years for you? Is like, are you selling or buying something this one year that would affect this? Like, should we take out less this year? Like, so I feel like you end up wearing like a tax planning hat, like, or like a financial
mhm,
planning hat sometimes as a tax preparer, if you're like doing really hands-on, proactive, like,
plan,
services for your
right.
clients. So I think it's like excellent to have like that credential, if you can, if it's not too much trouble to get. I will
Mm,
say too, like a lot of times clients like will ask like, can you do like a personal budget for me, or can you help me like understand like what my spending should be? Like they want to understand things about their household, and like like their plan for life, and they want like the person who they trust with all their tax stuff to be the person that they can talk about it with. And a lot of times we say like, oh no, like we don't do, like we do business bookkeeping and stuff, but we don't touch like your personal financial life. But there's like definitely a demand for that, you know. And those
Yeah.
people could have always used those tools like Mint, which I don't think is even around anymore, but like there's always been tools that people can use for personal budgeting. But like it's not like AI is any different. Like there's always been easy things you can like plug all your accounts into and have it like auto categorize stuff. But people don't want to, like they want to pay you to do that. Like like some people get like physically ill when they think about like their money, and they just don't even want to be near it. Like they want someone else to handle that. So yeah, I think that just makes you even stickier and even more like building even more trust and relationship. Like when you start sitting down with a client and helping them plan the next like 10, 20, 30 years of their life, like now, like you're really like becoming a part of their family, their life. Like that's not, AI is not going to replace that. Like that's like a special connection like that you're making with them. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And if you're not interested in that, but you're kind of interested in like the bookkeeping side, like the same goes like to get stickier, like maybe picking an industry or two that you want to really specialize in, and just like starting to figure out like all of the, you know, problems that you could solve like by creating tools or dashboards or, you know, workflows or processes, like using AI to like help you figure those things out. Sorry. Child just walked in. There's supposed to be a babysitter. Okay. So yeah. Hey Luna, can you go downstairs, please? Sorry. So very sorry. So sorry. So yeah, I think like it's just like figuring out how can you connect with these clients on a deeper level, whether it's business clients or, you know, just families trying to figure out like how to save for their future and pay their taxes. Like, you know, it's trying to figure out how you can strengthen and deepen your bond like with humans is like the thing that AI can't touch, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Sorry about my child. Okay, she's leaving. Yay. I was like we're officially in the summer, like with no like structured camp or anything, and I have like these mother's helpers coming and helping, but like sometimes they can't stop them from coming upstairs. So sorry about that.
Totally understand. My kids are home too, so
yeah, right. It's like we just have to like get through these 6 weeks. And,
yep. Do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't apologize for that though.
You know what's crazy is the one who just came in here to let us all know that she pooped her pants, which she didn't. She just says that. But anyways, she I lost a client when I still own my accounting firm when I had her, and she was like crying in the background, and like a client like fired me because of it. Like they were, and it was crazy because they were a pediatrician, which I found to be like so ironic.
I don't think that's someone that you would want to work with.
Right. So, and like sometimes it is kind of like, okay, like, you know, you actually did me a favor, thank you. But like they thought it was like so unprofessional, and like so I'm always like so embarrassed because, you know, it's like, this is not professional.
You're professional because you are a parent.
Thank you.
Like, you know what I mean? It's the whole purpose.
Yeah, you know, yeah. I guess some people see it differently, but it is yeah, it's hard to juggle all of it. But like, you know, if you guys all studying for these exams, like the goal is to create a career for yourself that allows you to have a little bit of everything that you want in your life, you know, and
exactly.
You know, for like as an accountant to be able to make a living and still see my kids like, you know, for little parts throughout the day, it's like really nice, you know. So you guys will have a lot of freedom like coming out of this. But I really think like watching as many YouTube videos or whatever about trying to figure out like how to just be like the AI expert just like how to utilize, like how to find your way around, and like how to write a good prompt, like all those things are going to make you like have that competitive edge, like in interviews and all of that. I think it'll
Yeah.
make up for any years of tax experience that you don't have.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry, I'm kind of hugging a lot of airtime on my questions.
No, go for it.
But I do have another one.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, a while back I was looking at some like kind of kind of online, kind of like certificate, or
Hmm.
kind of remote learning, or even with, like, for example, like University of like Texas and Austin, they offer kind of some program in which they, like, oh, we'll train you. Like, I guess one understood was that basically they will work with you to, well, they'll teach you sort of like, like the fundamentals of AI, I guess, right? And kind of these
Yeah.
tools. And then they were gonna, I guess their idea was to help you apply it to whatever industry that you're in.
That's
But
cool.
granted, but the thing is that, like, I know, like, a lot of people. I mean, I wondered, like, I think it seems like a lot of people were from maybe more of like a technical background, so I think that maybe translates a little bit kind of easier. I'm not sure, because they're talking about, oh, we'll help you, design whatever kind of AI portfolio and stuff you can show to your
Yeah.
employers. I just kind of wonder, like, have you guys kind of looked into some of those? Because I mean, there are a lot of kind
Yes.
of these AI courses out there, certificates and stuff, right?
Right.
You guys look into those, and how would they apply to something like,
I
tax?
mean, if I
Yes.
could kind of talk
Oh, go
about that,
ahead,
is like,
Ronnie.
you kind of go back as to what Rebecca was just saying. You could literally train the AI to train itself to train you on those exact questions. So you're gonna go pay somebody else for to do the same thing that you could get out of it with the right input.
Yeah. So like literally the exact question you just asked us, you could ask like AI and say like, how
Mm.
should I learn you? Like for my industry, like what should I
Literally.
do?
Mm.
I was talking to like some coders that like have now kind of like come into the accounting space to like help accounting firms, like, with the AI stuff, but they've always been like software, like code people. And they
Mhm.
were like, don't ever pay for an AI class. Like that's what like AI
Yeah.
is. You could just ask it, like, but I get like wanting some sort of structure or like a checklist of what like you should be learning, which again, you could ask AI to give you that checklist. I think this is the correct link. A lot of people have been talking about Google's certificate program, which I
Mhm.
think might even be free. Um, but like
I think
they
it's
have like
on
a really,
Coursera. So you pay a
is it through
subscription for
Coursera?
Coursera. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They
What
have
is
a
it, like
deal right now. It's
50?
like 37 a month for the first 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's like supposed to be really good. Like so if you just want like to start somewhere and you'd rather, or you could ask your AI like, should I do this? Like, could you replicate this for free for me? Like look at the
Mhm.
curriculum, look at this website and tell me like, can you make this for me? And like, can you make that into like some sort of skill or like document that lives like in the memory, so that when I ask you certain questions, you utilize whatever the most efficient method is based on like what these courses teach, or like you can kind of work with it, but you will kind of have to keep pushing with more questions and like challenging it a little bit to
Mhm.
do it. but
Mhm.
but yeah, if you, it might be a good place to start is with this Google one. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right,
I wish.
guys.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool. Thanks. Oh,
yeah.
no. No.
If you think of questions like in between, you can always just like DM me in the community. I get notifications. So I'm happy to help you guys in between. And Ronnie was kind enough to come to my other AI thing, which was so good to see you there.
Thanks. It
So
was wow. It's people are light years ahead. It's crazy.
And like some weeks you'll hear that, and other weeks it's like, no, it's like similar conversation to this. We try to start each one with like a show and tell of someone doing something cool. Last week it just happened to take like the whole hour to, like, showing it, but it's not always like that. But on the website you can see like all the previous sessions, and like if you want to kind of see like but and I'll put that in there too. I just have this like
But I
AI
was
lab
just
for
saying,
accountants.
from a just like a resource standpoint, to have the capital to kind of work with others to build what he was displaying, and to have the foresight and the idea, the clientele to, you know what I mean, build that out and have the need for the features, you know, that's kind of what I mean by just because we're
Yeah.
all in the learning capacity here, but
Right,
then what
right.
they're doing, you know.
Yes, yes, but, I mean, it's kinda cool to, like, get a glimpse of, like, "Oh, maybe I should jump on some of this, like, at the beginning and skip a few steps ahead," and, like, like, you could get there a lot faster if you figure out how to use these tools, so
Definitely.
yeah, definitely some good resources on the website and stuff, and you're always welcome to come and you can just come and ask questions and like challenge people to like help you with where you're at and people will help. Everyone's like really nice. Um, so
Right.
all right, we're over time. I'll let you guys go. But thank you so much and I will talk to you all soon. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care,
Right.
All
everyone.
right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good to
Bye
see
bye.
you all. Bye.